Okay, let's start the video. And tonight is Mega Man. For those of you who have the list, please follow the list. And as you can see, now we're gonna do a video on the tomato cuttings, and it seems fun because a lot of people are doing it, and I'm gonna try to do it myself as well. But before we get started, we're gonna grab all the ingredients we need, all the tools we need, and we're gonna start that. But before we get started, you can email me at hyper_links@yahoo.com, and you can donate, subscribe, share, and like my video. And always remember, nothing is guaranteed, but always trust yourself. Now, let's see what we need. We need cuttings from a original tomato plant. We need water that I filter, plastic water bottle or a plastic holder, because that plastic water bottle would be better because it's like a vase, and you can put a little water and put a couple of cuttings in the water bottle, plastic water bottle, and then it will grow roots. And you need a scissor, some sunlight, and even though it's winter, it will still have sunlight in the winter. And as you can know that when sunlight comes from the winter, the plants need to be indoor. So if it's not indoor, the cold weather will rotten the plant. So if it's indoor, the sunlight will give it warmth and it will grow roots. Even with the cutting that are cut from an original plant. And you need rocks or pebbles. I use rock and pebble. Rocks and pebble are the best thing because, number one, it gives some weight to the rocks. The pebble gives some weight. This is a pebble or rock. I'm using a rock. So I'm using a piece of rock, so I'm going to lay them down. So let's lay it down. I'm going to use a piece of rock. To show everybody. So we're going to use a rock. Now, let's show everybody how we're going to do it. And we need, let's close it down and show everybody how it's done. So we need a piece of rock. So we need a piece of rock on, or a lot of rocks, depends on what you use. I would use, if you use a plastic spring water bottle, you will need to cut the top off. And I would only use one pebble or rock. And the rock not only give it some weight when you put the rock inside. Let's wipe it off. Not only will it give some weight to the bottle, it probably gives some kind of a nutrient to the plant as well. And after you cut the top, you can cut it below there, also below the wrapping. I like to cut it above the wrapping. And then you need either plastic holder like this one, which will give more plants more space, and you can put more plants, or you can use that. You don't need any drain hole for now because it's immense in water. So on this, I will put more rocks. You can see the rocks. I got one rock inside. The rocks you can buy and store, or you can pick outside in the beaches as well. I put 2 rocks in here. I put 1 rock in here. You can put a set amount of rocks over there. The rocks, let's say you have a big holder and you can't find a small holder, the rocks will help increase the level of water. Not only it will help increase the level of water, it will decrease the depth of the plant. It will decrease the depth of that you need to put the plant in. So if I put more rocks, the plant will go high. If you have no rocks, the plant will immense deep down water. So the plant will give some, the rock will give some height to the water. It will give some increase the water level, and it will also decrease the amount of depth you need to put your plant in. So if you have more rocks, the plant will go deeper down, don't have to go deeper down in the water. Because sometimes when your plants are small or not that long, then your plant will need to have less depth. So the longer the plant, you need more depth. So for this, you need to immerse it in water, the plant in water. Now these are filtered water. And again, I poured it in that much because the root won't grow beneath the cuttings. It won't grow on the bottom. The roots will go mostly on the middle of the cutting. Couple of maybe 1 or 2 inches above the cutting, it will grow most of the time. And the closer the cutting to the roots, the higher success rate, and it will grow quicker. So these both are distilled water, and I have the rock, and you will need a scissor to cut that top off. And you will need also during the night, you will need the night lights, because these are energy savers. Not only that, because since you need to walk to the bathroom at night and you turn on the light, and these can turn the whole night without wasting a lot of electricity. It's best for you. It's best to keep it light near the cuttings also. So get a couple of these, 1 or 2, because the plug usually have 2 plugins. So best to get 2. And you need to put the cuttings. Now, these are cuttings that I got around October, and it starts to get windy at that point. But this week, it's like it's summer now. These past 5 days, like summer, but the beginning of October, it was like winter. Now, this is the cutting. We'll lay it down. You can see the cutting. Let's put it on top. And this is one of the cuttings. I trim all the leaves except for the top part. And these I put it about a couple of days. And as you can see, some of these plants have turned the color, but I still use them to see if it works. And some of them did work. You can see some of these turned the colors. But these two didn't turn color yet. It didn't grow root yet because it will need time. And some of these are not close to the bottom of the plant, so probably take longer. I immerse it in water. Probably immerse 3 in water. And this is probably too long, but I'm gonna trim it down. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna trim this down. But as you can see, I didn't need to trim it down because you can see the roots start growing. So let's show you by the roots, the white piece over here. I'm gonna lay it down, and you can see that white piece over there. My hand is pointing to it. Have some roots start growing, so it did work. This one didn't take that long either. It only took me couple of days, and this start growing roots over here, white ones. And these tomatoes are easier to grow roots, so could double down system. So even longer, more than 6 to 8 inch will work also. Now, this might be too long. So what happens? So let's say it grows the roots on top over here, and the bottom don't grow roots. When it grows a lot of roots, and you don't see the bottom have roots, you can cut the bottom part also out to the point where the roots didn't grow, and you can put it in the soil before you put it in the soil. So, and this is not as nice. See, it's turned yellow. See, it's turned yellow over here. It didn't turn as good as before, as green as it used to be, because the summer's over. I cut too late, and because of that, it turned the color. So let's show everybody closer the whole plants. You don't need to see the top part. Okay, now for this one, that one start growing roots again. I'll update you guys how fast the roots grow in a couple of days. But this also, you need the level of water to be that much for the plants to grow roots faster. You need that much. If your plants are not about 6 to 8 inch, then you don't need that much water. If it's lower, now this one also will cut 6 couple days. It also had turned the color. And I have this one also. That turned the color as well. So all these are turned the color. Some of these even have tomato on it, so I'll try to do it. But not all the branch have tomato. I'm talking about the branch that have tomato, I did not use, but the branch that don't have tomato, I used. So even with the branch that had tomato, I would use only the top part because the top part hasn't grown tomato yet. Only the bottom part grow tomato. That's how it goes in a plant. If the bottom part grow tomato, it won't grow tomato anymore on the bottom. It will grow tomato on the top. it will only grow on the bottom if it have new cuttings around the bottom of the plant. And you can put more cutting. Even if it turned color, I still use because I don't have any plants that don't have good colors because I cut them out late. I didn't want to cut the plant because they have a lot of tomato on it. So I'm going to immerse it in water. We need to space it, and this one is that long. See, it had turned the color. Let's see if these works. Now, the one that don't work, I'm gonna discard it. Some of these turn it. That's why I got a lot. And see which one works. The one that works, I will keep. The one that doesn't work, I will try to throw it away because my tomato plant was very high. It was about the height of a person. So because it's about a person, it got a lot of rooting. Not only have a lot of rooting, it had a lot of cuttings. A lot of you can have a lot of cuttings extending on the side. It's like 5, 6 multiple plants on the. You have also have cuttings on the bottom near the roots because it was in a good spot. Not only was it in a good spot with a lot of sunlight, it had time. I'm gonna stick in. You see that part? It's not on the water because this one is too short, so I can put it on the side so it can, or put it on top of another plant, next to another plant. So this one will be a little bit above the water. And as you can see, put more plants inside the water bottle. This one has 3. And this one looks, even though it turned the color, it's still able to survive. So we don't need good. We really don't need good one. If you have good ones, good cuttings, you can do it. But if you don't have good cuttings, you can do the one without good cuttings as well. Just cut off the bad color ones. Try to keep as much green leaves as possible, and cut out the bad stems or leaves. You still need a leaf because the leaf will absorb sunlight. And I will try to check back in a couple of weeks to see, or just in 1 week to see which one grow rooting. But the one that grow rooting will look like this. Let's show everybody the one that grow rooting. This one's so nice, 100%. Even though this one's long, very long. Look at how long this is. This is about 6 to 8 inch. And you can see the roots grow. I'm gonna lay it down. Probably won't see it in good color. You can see this white part over here. It grows the roots already. You can see how many roots it have. This one can actually be cut on the bottom. See, the roots are on top. That means this part over here. If I were to plant on soil, I would cut this part out because this part over here, from here to here, doesn't have any roots. So probably can cut this down here. And even though it turned the color, you can see that it turned the color, it will still be able to survive. Why? Because when the new leaves come up, it'll be able to turn green and nice. If you're able to give it some nutrients. And this one, I don't know if it's closer to the roots. It probably was closer to the roots. But the one that was closer to the roots, let me show you the one that close to the roots. Was this one. This one was closer to the roots, as you can see. That this one was closer to the roots. And as you can see, it grow a little bit of roots, and you can see how long the roots are. So I had success with plum tomatoes or round tomatoes. I mixed the plants up. I don't know which one's round, which one's plum, but I got 2 out of it. This one over here is probably round tomato. So there we go. You don't need the rooting hormones. You just need the tools, the correct tools. And I will not use the rooting hormone. Now, I'm going to try to do it with other plants to see if it works. For now, I'm going to try to test it out with tomatoes. And as you can see, I'll try to show you how to put it in the soil next time with the one that has roots. So check back next week, and I hope you guys liked the video. And remember to use the light nights because it's cheap, and it don't take up a lot of energy, and you just turn it on when it's at night to give it some sunlight, to give it some light, because it needs about 8 hours per day.